In this video, I will share with you some port excursion ideas that will save you time and money. Hello everyone! We just came back from a 7-day Alaska cruise aboard the humongous Norwegian Encore. It was a 100% vaccinated and PCR negative cruise. One of the many advantages of this type of voyage is that you are not restricted to the cruise ship arranged excursions. You can freely explore the ports on your own. And if you looked into those cruise ship excursions, you know how expensive they can be. And sure, booking with a cruise ship has its own merits. So it is up to us, the consumers, to weigh our options. Let's begin. First stop, Icy Strait Point. This is the only port city that is privately owned. I compared cruise ship excursions with local excursions, and they are the same price. Well, we did not purchase an excursion, but instead, we did our own little exploring. So we took the transporter, which was free that day. Lucky us. I can't find what the regular fare is, but I can't imagine it being any more than $5. There was a long line initially, but it went fast. And boy, it was worth the wait. It was a beautiful ride over the forest. Alternatively though, you can hike it also. There is a trail on the right side as you face the entrance to the ride. And if you want to gauge the trail first, take the transporter first, look to the right hand side as you face forward, and you can get a quick survey of the trail. To me, it looked very leisurely, both distance-wise and terrain-wise. It would have been a relaxing hike. They have the regular shopping, restaurants, museums. However, the walk, the view, the beach, the beauty of it, it was just serene, spectacular. The ambience gave me the feel of Alaska at its purest. I could have just sat there by the water and just spent the whole time we were there just watching the birds and the calm waters. Anyway, make sure that you also visit the Cannery Museum. It is free and very educational. Also, right outside of the Cannery Museum, there is a little shack that sells mini donuts. Now, I am not a fan of donuts, but my husband, whose appetite is dictated by the clock, upon seeing donuts and drinks, said he needed something to eat. And boy, was I pleased that we did try their donuts. They are made fresh and they have over a dozen of flavors. We tried blueberry, chocolate espresso, and sriracha. I love the espresso cappuccino and sriracha. Delicious. You make sure you get some. So it was a nice walk, nice view, calm water, and other than the cost of the donuts and drinks, it was all free. Skagway. If you are eyeing on the White Pass train ride and contemplating whether to book it with the ship or local, here's my 2 cents. Book it local. I found out that it is very likely that the ship's excursion and the local ones are going to be in the same train anyway. Yes, they are separated by different cars, but the same train. So if engine trouble is your worry, you will be in the same train as the ship's arranged tour anyway, meaning you won't have to worry that the ship will leave should it gets close to sailing time. So the budget conscious in me says I'd book it local and save some money. And if you don't have an excursion planned and just want to explore on your own, there is a lot of history in the small town of Skagway. There are shuttles that will take you to town for $2 each way. And for $5, you get an all-day pass. But the town is so small that you can leisurely walk to town and around and back and not even break a sweat. So really, you don't even have to take the bus. While in town, make sure you stop by one of the few visitor centers and pick up a map. They are free, they are helpful, and very informative. We spent practically the whole morning going up and down the streets and going in each historic buildings and got immersed in the history. It is a small town, but there are plenty of history. There are no entrance fees to the historic buildings. Juneau. I know I wanted to take the tram up to Mount Roberts, so before our cruise, I looked it up online and almost pre-purchased tickets through the Mount Roberts website. However, I gave it a second thought just in case there is a heavy rain or fog the day that we're there. And I'm glad I didn't buy the tickets online. Online, it was $35. At the counter, it was $25 each. So no need to purchase online, no need to book it with NCL. Just get the tickets from the counter. $25. And let me tell you, it was well worth it. By the way, it was also an all-day ticket, so you can ride it as much as you want all day long, which the child in me was tempted to do just that. Good thing I had an adult supervision, my husband. Up on top is a restaurant, a small nature center, souvenir shops, and several hiking trails. The few hiking trails that we checked out are nicely paved and well kept. Down below, we also took a walk on the street towards downtown. The governor's mansion is only a short distance away. On the way, we saw the Manila Square and Filipino Community Hall. We are Filipinos, so seeing them gave us big smiles. Oh, if you want to start buying souvenirs, I recommend the Alaska Juneau store and the Alaska Shirt Company. I found the more generic items like socks, shirts, chocolates, salmon, smoked salmon, magnets. They are cheaper in Juneau and Ketchikan. Ketchikan. Our ship was docked a long distance away from the city, but NCL shuttled us to downtown. It was a good 20-minute ride. I tell you, you don't want to walk this. Take the shuttle. We were dropped off at the main port of Ketchikan. Again, if you are doing an excursion on your own, your first stop should be the visitor center. There are always coupons available for a bunch of stuff, and maps are always available, but we didn't do that. We instead relied on me and Siri. We wanted to check out the Fox Lodge and actually ride their lift, which is a funicular. So instead of asking the visitor center, I asked Siri to navigate us there. And she did, except she took us to the back road. So instead of finding the funicular lift, we found long sets of steps after a quarter of a mile of uphill hike. Oh my gosh, talk about getting our workouts done for that day. I didn't take a picture of the exact stairs, but it was similar to this. So, moral of the story, do not ask Siri for directions. Go to the visitor center and talk to the nice person at the counter. It turned out though that the lift was out of order that day anyway. If you are interested in riding it, supposedly it is a $2 fare. Going down, we took the Married Man's Trail. It was a nice route. We strolled down the wooden stairs onto a salmon pond stream and ended down a salmon pond. We continued on Creek Street and just explored the quaint, charming, colorful shops around. By the way, there's also a free city bus that goes around town and comes every 15 minutes. Just wait in the green covered bus stop. We took that to the Totem Heritage Park. You don't want to miss this park. It was beautifully surrounded by tall pine trees and ponds. There is a hatchery in the center of the park, which it is not open to the public, but right outside of the hatchery is a pond where we saw this. I have never seen anything like this before, so it was totally amazing for me to be right there, up close, next to these hyperactive salmon fishes. But for a better view, walk back to the bridge and look towards the hatchery and you'll see this. Don't they look like doing circus acts? If you're like me, unfamiliar with this sight, make sure to look up the science behind this tendency among the salmon family. Very interesting. For last-minute souvenirs, here's my tip. Don't go to the stores right next to the piers. Walk a short distance back to this place called Tonga's Trading Company. So for this sport, other than snacks for Mr. It's Time to Munch and tip to the bus driver, we spent $0 in excursion fees. Glacier Passage. We were told that the best view is on the port side or the left side of the ship. So for a good 2 hours, we parked ourselves in a nice spot, port side, in the observation lounge in deck 15. However, when I started taking pictures, there was much glare. So we decided to leave and instead lined up to enter the crew area in the bow or the back of the ship. We found this by asking the crew members. They will know exactly what you're talking about. Just ask them. And because we were one of the first few people in line, we found a nice spot on port side as the ship made its way into the glaciers. We got the best view of the forest, huge floating pieces from the glaciers, waterfalls that froze. It was magnificent. If there's one thing though that I will make sure to bring with me the next time we go on an Alaskan cruise, it would be a pair of binoculars. I hear people pointing to wildlife and amazing ice formations as they see them through their lenses, and man was I jealous. I wish I had one. I don't own one right now, but even the inexpensive low-powered ones would have made a huge difference. I bet I can get a pair cheaper than a ticket to a whale watching excursion. Definitely worth the investment. So yes, you can do Alaska's shore excursions on a budget and still go home overwhelmed by the beauty of Alaska. If you want to get a glimpse of what has changed because of COVID, please check out this video. Bye for now, and I will see you in the next video.